Alright, welcome to Flick of the Week. Guess what? It's me, Nick, doing most of the talking today, because Jordan sounds like a wombat.
Yeah.
He hit the sauce pretty hard, and then he also drank, so there's that.
A little bit of both, whatever that is.
So today we're going to look back, nostalgic view, our top 5 of 2015 to start off. Then we're going to jump into the Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's new film. And then maybe we'll talk about a little bit The Big Short and The Revenant. How about that? It's my show now, so I can't really hear you. So
okay,
I've got the mic. You have to listen to everything I have to say.
I guess I'll just stand on the sidelines then.
Wait, let me explain something to you. I'm the dude.
What is it?
It's the one that said bad motherfucker.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
We're sending you back to the future.
So, 2015, a year of, well, nothing that great happened in 2015, huh?
You know, in terms of the outward look of the world, things that went on, sadly, the things that are so memorable and like historical events, it's all BS, like social media viral bullshit. Like Hotline Bling.
I used to call you on my cell phone. How else did you call? Like, what? You getting hookers back in the 80s via payphone? Like, come on.
You know what's funny is when
Music
I think of...
took a downward spiral, for sure.
Did we have the argument about Hotline Bling? It? I think it was Ella.
Okay.
Me and her were arguing because it is most definitely Hotline Bling. It's not blink, but it means blink. They're just... Drake just doesn't know how to spell, not you.
Okay.
But
yeah, the other Drake.
Yeah, the other Drake.
I have more street credit than that Drake.
Street
Come
credit.
on. Degrassi, son of a bitch. Anyway.
But other than that, I didn't do my research, but which is good. We should, if we're going to talk about looking back, it should be things that definitely come to mind. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that comes to mind, sadly, is that fucking dress that people couldn't remember, couldn't tell if it was
brown
gold or blue.
It was like a white dress.
Yeah.
I came in like halfway through that thing and I was like, oh, is this a real argument? Like, I couldn't believe that anybody would devote more than a sentence of their words, more than a second of their time on that. And
I also think that, obviously the biggest thing of 2015 is the 2016 presidential race. And as a segue of that,
I'm pretty sure we're
Kanye
doing...
for 2020. What the fuck? But yeah, that's pretty much what I remember of 2015.
2015, everybody just kind of blew through. I don't think everybody will remember 2015 that fondly.
But inwardly, in terms of our history.
My son was born. What am I saying?
Yeah, very big news for you. Your son was born.
Nothing that great. And I can't put my finger on it, but...
But in 2015, my company, I thought that my video production company I was gonna get rid of it. I thought it was just gonna kind of go to the wayside. I was gonna move on to other things. But then I had an awakening and started this podcast.
Force Awakened?
I had a force awakening. I started this podcast. I traveled. I had a good amount of traveling, and we rekindled. Really,
we rekindled
because we were high school buddies.
Almost.
I wouldn't say
the wood Tinder, not. The...
I was one of those douchebags that was on Tinder looking for friends.
Were you? That's hilarious. You're like Kevin Smith with an Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah,
that's you.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I have this look, and if you listen to this show with your eyes, then you know that I wear glasses and a fedora with a big brim, and I wear a leather jacket, and I was going for more
Mickey Mouse. I don't know if you knew this, but
what?
In the version of Superman that Nicolas Cage was going to be in, that Kevin Smith wrote, that they trashed after Batman and Robin. They're like, oh, we're not making any more comic book movies after that shit. Freeze, come on. But in the script, and there was like pictures of this, it was Nicolas Cage with glasses and a leather jacket and a Mickey Mouse shirt.
Nice.
And the whole reason is that they're like, no one would ever think that fucking guy is Superman.
That makes sense. Go Kevin Smith for such a good fucking idea.
Awesome.
But yeah, this is like one of my cardinal looks, the Mickey Mouse shirt. And
you know who else has Mickey Mouse is what the heck? Tom Hanks in Da Vinci Code. Mickey Mouse watch.
Yeah. You never know. You look at
Was
someone
that
in
made
the
by
Mickey
Disney?
Mouse gear, and you're like, they could be special.
It could be someone that is full of angels and demons.
Yeah, and demons. But no, I was going for this is recently. I've always been going for like the Johnny Depp look, and then Nick comes out
You
one
have
day
the
and he's
facial
like,
hair, that's for sure.
but he's all like, "You fucking Indiana Jones bastard!" I'm like, I'm not trying to look like a 5-year-old trying to be
matching your
Indiana Jones.
hat with your jacket.
Is that was the problem? Is
You have to wear a scarf if you want to look like Johnny Depp or a pirate. One of the two.
I used to wear the peacoat.
Or you gotta wear kind of like a vest, a vest. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He always wears a vest.
Hate people with vests.
I don't like vests. I can't pull off a vest.
Okay, all right, back on track.
Right. What's your top 5?
My top
for
5.
2015.
Okay.
And why?
Okay. My top 5, and this is funny because
Go from bottom up.
Oh, bottom up.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think that might be more interesting.
Yeah, but I didn't. These aren't really in the order. I didn't really have enough brain function today to figure out which one is really the best, because I've said that before. Like, I have a hard time
They're
being
like your babies. You can't choose.
Yeah, just loving movies in general. I have a hard time saying that this is the top dog.
I love
but
movies.
I can say
this was a good year for movies.
Yeah,
it wasn't
was.
the worst. And actually, I think, because I remember 10 years ago, real quick, they're like, movie theaters are going down the drain. People own their own movie theaters and just watch it at our house. And we'll all get reels of film and nobody will pay any money to AMC or Regal. And now they're like, most money making year for movie theaters. Suck a dick.
Yeah.
Frickin' haters. Movie haters.
Okay, maybe I can kind of make this list in order now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. From least favorite, still awesome, to most favorite of the year, was the 33. Thought it was a great movie, original, even though it was a true story, very original content that you're not used to seeing on film. Steve Jobs, I loved that. How much of a surprise it was that it wasn't just a biopic of Steve Jobs' life. It was like a play, which actually was. It could be adapted into a play. I don't know if it already is a Broadway thing, but it's
maybe
it's very
Jobs
much like
on ice.
Jobs on Ice.
Yeah,
I would see it. Then The Walk.
Okay.
I just loved. I'm not really into 3D. I think we've discussed that before, but for some reason that sold it for me, and it even made me comfortable when we went to see Star Wars in 3D. I was like, hopefully they do the same thing, and they kind of did. But The Walk definitely was made for 3D. And then second favorite before the first was Mississippi Grind. Great original movie, brought me back to my childhood, seeing like movies from the 90s that I love gambling and buddy cop movies, kind of a combination of the two without cops, and
just buddies.
Just a buddy movie. They're like friends. They come together for
two
weird
unlikely
circumstances.
friends.
Yeah,
They are the fox and the hound.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
elephant and the mouse.
And then top favorite, which is contradictory to what we're talking about today, is Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
The coolest freaking Western I've seen in ages. Up there with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's
Really?
crazy good. And I don't think you've even seen it yet.
I have not seen Jobs or Bone Tomahawk, but as soon as they come out, I promise I'll watch them.
All right.
Those are two movies that did not hit a lot of theaters. So, Actually, none of your movies except for Mississippi Grind, which is number 5 for me. I love that movie. It was a great story. And it's really hard to have like two dudes talking through a whole movie and maybe playing some cards, unless you understand gambling, and really be invested for 2 hours. But that movie did it. Number 4 for me is Creed.
Really?
Out of this whole year of just sequels and remakes and reboots, Creed was my favorite thing because... Oh, I'm sorry. Not my favorite thing. Second favorite thing, because Mad Max is next. Creed, what it did was it told a story that I really wanted to see. I heard about this, and I was like, is it going to be... like, young Apollo Creed and how he became... I was like, that'd be kind of interesting, but they went a whole nother way. Yeah. They're like, what if we just made Rocky the Trainer have a backseat to this and make a really good boxing film? And not only that, but shoot it well. There's a long shot in a boxing scene, a whole 2 rounds without a cut. That's awesome. Mad Max. George Miller comes back from the dead. He kind of looks like he did anyway, if he did. He went from Mad Max to Babe to Happy Feet to Mad Max. And you know what? It doesn't even look like he skipped a beat, because except for that storm and a couple things, it's all people really floating out of cars and them really blowing up. And Mad Max, he's the quiet hero again. I was like, there's no way. What, we're going to have Bane Mad Max? Yeah. Like, oh, no. And then he just doesn't say anything. That was perfect. Good move there, Tom Hardy. Save it for the sequel. Number 2, Star Wars, man. That was the coolest movie I've seen all year. Yeah. You can say, I feel like you can't say you like any Star Wars without somebody going, oh, fuck you. But some people are going, it's a remake of A New Hope. I'm like, it has everything I wanted to see that Phantom Menace didn't have. Okay? I don't care about midi-chlorians. I want to see shit blow up and a lightsaber battle and then something new. And that all happened. Yeah. Number 1, Hateful Eight. I'll tell you why. Because out of everything, and this definitely is probably not the same, except for people that are really big fans of movies. That is the best story that was told to me this year. Yeah. It was perfect. It was Quentin Tarantino style. I was like, is he really going to make 2 movies in a row that are Westerns with bounty hunters? And they couldn't be any more different from each other, really. Except for those 2 things, they're completely different films. It had me invested. It was a Western Reservoir Dogs. That's what it was. Yep. That was my top 5. I think they did a real good real good job with films this year. And Star Wars is still making money. Right on. Let's jump into...
I actually like your list, but I gotta say one thing. We didn't ever talk about Mad Max. That wasn't in an episode.
We talked about it like during an episode, real quick. We've referenced it. I
think that came out before we started the show.
No, you remember? You're like... It was like what we've been watching, and you said, I've watched Mad Max again. And then we had like a little, unless you cut it.
Okay, that counts. Okay. Because I'm looking at it like, you know how you were saying about Star Wars canon? I'm looking at it that way. Like if we didn't talk about it on this show, then it doesn't exist. Unless we're in that mood where we're talking about things that are
I think we both on content. Different episodes said that we watched Mad Max. Okay, yeah. And like that, to me... must mean that there's some real good interest in that film.
You're right. I recant my statement.
Take it back.
Taking it back. Okay. Let's get started on... What are we talking about?
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. All right.
Let's go into how we saw the Hateful Eight.
Okay.
There was 50 cities, I believe, that had trained projectionists because people don't use film anymore. You press a button, just like a DVD player, and a big old projection comes on your movie screen in movie theaters now. So they're like, well, why don't we do it like the old days, since it's an oldie kind of movie, make it feel like an old movie, and shoot it on 70 millimeter in a blizzard. And they're like, Quentin Tarantino, all you do is make us money, so do whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
And Miramax did it. And they paid for it, and they shipped it to 50 cities, and one of them was Phoenix, Arizona, which we are. And we saw 2 different showings, but the same thing. So I'm wondering how... But before I start this, I want to say that there was many complaints because a lot of projectionists are like, oh, fuck, film? We have to... What?
Yeah.
And then they screwed it up, missed reels, this and that, or... Some of the film was bad, so it's screwed. But we both were fortunate to have good showings.
Yeah, mine was pristine. The one thing I actually did hear that mine wasn't pristine, and I
Really?
didn't notice. I actually appreciated the imperfection of what I was seeing. But here's the thing: is last
That's what
night
I thought it was for, to
Yeah.
be imperfect.
Yeah, but last night, Ella's brother came back. They went and saw the roadshow, him and his girlfriend, and he was explaining about the difference, the way they have a different projector screen that it projects onto, and some theaters have that different newer material, and the intense light that comes through the projector that is not just projection. It's not digital projection light. It created a giant like a halo. And a very
really?
bright center, and I thought that was making me feel more like an
I
old
didn't
movie.
have that.
And yeah, so I had this very bright center, and kind of a what's that called, a gradient, or I can't think of what the word is.
I don't know
right
what
now.
you're saying, yeah.
But a vignette. That's what it is.
Okay.
A vignette. The edges were a lot darker, and then the center almost was like reflective. Like there was light shining at certain points. If you were out on the snow, especially, that was like really bright in the center.
Yeah, we did not have that. However, there was like a lot of scratchy kind of film that made it seem like a little
love that.
eastward western. There was one thing, and there was one piece of film where, like, and I didn't really care. I'm not like kill him with a pitchfork, but there was like a thing of blue for like 5 seconds, and I could tell that it was like a bad reel right there.
Well,
But I was like, you know what? If I was watching a movie in the 30s, that shit would happen.
Yeah. Do you remember, like from Pulp Fiction, or not? Why am I saying Quentin Tarantino? Never mind. No, I was gonna say from Fight Club. Mm-hmm. Remember, he's a projectionist, and there's the little
The
dot.
cigarette burn. It was not that though, because
Okay.
it was definitely something messed up because it kept moving.
Okay.
It was not the cigarette burn.
I saw one of those, but then it was a great movie when I got so enthralled with the story that I forgot about all of the imperfections and everything. I was just in the story.
The only thing that was bad about mine is that it was so packed that we had the front row, not only the front row, the last 2 left seats.
Oh yeah.
So we're both like on our left elbow looking up, the whole time. That was the only thing, but there's nothing I could do about it.
If there's anything I can be really proud of from my 2015 year of movies, is I've gotten to be so intense with making sure to be well on time, if not
Well,
like
here's
really
the thing:
early.
is that sometimes women make you late, which is exact. Because I bought them online. I did everything right.
Yeah.
I said the movie was at 6:40. It was really at 7. I was like, "There's no way." But then there was a Cardinals game, and that stadium is right next to that theater.
Yeah.
And we sat in traffic and got there 10 minutes late.
Wow.
And that 10 minutes cost me a good seat. That's only happened to me maybe half a dozen times in my life.
We went Christmas Eve, and we were there an hour early. We were just
No
sitting,
way.
walking around in the theater forever. We were the ones
Usually
who
don't even let you in that early.
we
Wow.
did.
Wow.
Well, I knew the owners of the theater, of the AMC Westgate.
Oh, okay.
So I
that's all
knew
we
the
know.
people there.
Why didn't you let me know so I could get a good seat?
It was spur of the moment. It was such a fly thing. And I was like, should I? No, fuck that asshole that's my co-host. I'm like, this is a date.
Yeah, I know. You're the Hateful Eight. That's what you
Damn right. But no, we are the ones who started the line. That's what I thought was weird. I'm like,
Nice.
because we had started a line and it got so long, and then the people at the theater started to put rope around us, And I was like, wait, are we in the beginning? Like, because it feels like where we started the line, we might have gotten kind of fucked.
That's happened to me. The last time that happened to me was episode 2 of Star Wars, and I was in the front row of the Cine Capri, which is twice as tall as any normal theater, and they didn't move the seats any further back. So you look at a 90-degree angle. I had to watch it again, because I was like, there's no way I saw the movie I saw.
The movie just looked like The Crawl at the
it
beginning.
Did, yeah. I was like,
stressed.
I know. I was like, well, I've been able to read this for half an hour, while everybody else is like starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
But then I went to the midnight show of The Avengers, and that I was wrapped around a building, and I was an hour early. So then I went to Avengers 2. Apparently not as many people liked it, or I don't know, because I showed up an hour early. I was first in line. I waited an hour. I could have comfortably just sat in my car or something.
Well, one of the coolest things about the roadshow experience. And
they
you know,
give you
like
a souvenir.
We're not really saying anything new, because I think that because this is such a new thing to this generation, they like blew it out of proportion with Hateful Eight advertising, and they're like, go to the roadshow, but they didn't say it that way, but they were talking about all of these things. Nothing was a surprise, but it is genuinely an experience, and also you get a souvenir. You get this really awesome book, and I stapled my ticket to it. And inside the book, it comes with a poster. And we were talking about, one of the things is that these, like, logistically, when they printed these books, they would print them and they'd all fall like newspapers into one stack. And each book has a poster of one person in it. And the funny thing is that, you know, like, you have 8 different characters. So there's 8 different types of books. And these imbeciles at the theater, that's the nicest way I can put it, they just cracked open these boxes.
See, I'm wondering though if instead of mixing them up like you're saying, like they should have mixed them up so everybody in that theater should have got a different one. But maybe it was just like per show. They got one box per show. So 7 o'clock gets the Mexican. 8 o'clock doesn't get the Mexican. And maybe that's how it went.
I feel like anyone could be blamed for this, but I feel like
in a world where they have to accommodate Star Wars and that, they were just like, whoa, we can't mix these up. We can't take a deck of cards and.
I think I could trace the blame if I wanted to be a real asshole. I want to trace the blame all the way back to the fuckers who printed these things. They should have printed them and mixed them, so that everyone got a random one. But like me and Ella got the same one, and everyone in our line had the Mexican.
Did too. Yeah, we had the sheriff.
But you know what that did? That distracted me from the point of the movie. Is that no one
distracted you from the movie?
No, yeah. Oh. Listen, I thought because the Mexican had a big fucking full frame thing, and everyone else in the line had the Mexican. I thought he was a big deal in the movie.
He was not that big.
And he wasn't that big of a deal. Total distraction, right?
Total distraction.
Because I was like waiting to see. But I loved that character though. I loved he really like took on that role. Bob, he's great. Yeah, but this book is really cool.
He was in Django. He was the guy, the sheriff. He's the guy who was going to chop off his balls.
Yep.
He's like, hold on, I'm going to chop off these balls of yours. He's a recurring antagonist in Justified. Mm-hmm. That show. He's in, he plays like a tranny in Sons of Anarchy. Mm-hmm. He's a great actor. And he's never really like shined, I would say, in film. In TV, plenty. But in film, he was like a minor character in that new G.I. Joe movie. He's been around. But I've never seen him like through and through, and this movie did it, and he knocked it out of the park, I thought. Mm-hmm. I did not expect him to do that. I thought, oh, there he is. He's going to die any minute. Nope. Best character of the movie, in my opinion.
Really?
I thought so.
I think it was...
Not to say they were all bad, but I thought he was the best.
You know what's funny is, like, in the sitcom world, you know how, like, they have a formula of, like, 7 people. Mm-hmm. That's usually it. I'm holding up 5 fingers, but I mean 7. But no, they have a formula of like 7 people, and all of those 7 people kind of represent like the basic emotions that people have. So that's why sitcoms are so relatable. Because you can always say, well, I'm
I'm
Joey,
sarcastic,
or I'm whatever,
sarcastic, and that's Smarty McSmarty Pants.
Yeah,
and,
everyone always has
there's
a
the shy
picks a
girl,
favorite.
and that's it.
But what's funny is the Hateful Eight is like the same thing, but with antagonists. Like everyone's a bad guy, and then somehow we all walk away loving one of the bad guys.
Man, I cannot believe how racist that audience was. It is a very heavy N-word filled film. And every time they said it, like, people were just like, I was like, have we never heard this word before? Are you all just like real assholes and hiding behind the darkness of the theater? I was like, wow. What do you think about that? People have like talked about Quentin Tarantino using the N-word too much. But then I was like, have you seen Kill Bill? Have you seen Death Proof? Have you seen... There's a handful that he doesn't use it in.
He uses it in like when it's necessary because of the time period. Those two movies, just two movies in one setting, right? And then they barely use it in Pulp Fiction. You know,
they did use it in Pulp Fiction. He says it in Pulp Fiction.
He does,
actually.
But like I said, when it's necessary, like he's pissed off. He's talking to his black friend about a dead black guy in the car. Obviously, he's going to use that word, I think, that character.
I kind of thought maybe he was at a time, and then I was like, you know what? He doesn't... There's plenty of things he's written and that don't use it. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that. But apparently, he wrote some of the rewrite for Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington, and he wrote a scene where like Denzel gets called the N-word, and Denzel's like, why? What? Why is that in the movie? And apparently they were not... I guess they've reconciled since, but him and Quentin Tarantino were known to not be friends in Hollywood for a long time.
See, here's my opinion on this whole thing, is that what you're saying about what people are saying about Quentin and his writing, it kind of all stems from the tree of this PC bullshit. And I understand it's great in a certain sense, because being politically correct in life and with people and in politics especially makes sense. But with art, with stand-up comedy and film, just leave it alone. Let the artist express themselves. It's the point of art, is expressionism.
It makes sense to me to see that in a Western.
You could never
people
tell
said
that story
and it
the
didn't
same.
mean the same. It did, but it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't as... Because we've all like scared ourselves into thinking like that's the worst thing to ever be said. And it's not a good thing to say, but back then it was just as common as me saying, hey, asshole. Like, you know...
It's like trying... If you were trying to do that to Quentin Tarantino, it's like throwing Splenda at Quentin Tarantino if he was coffee. It's like, it's not working. It's not going to work. Like, you think it's going to work? No. It's dulling down the product that we go to see, and sometimes the most beautiful things are kind of ugly. And that's the beauty of art, you know? So...
I especially loved, as far as the Quentin verse, this had everything. What I look for and what me and my dad always look for, we're both Americans, we're both military, and me and my dad would always go to Quentin Tarantino film and go like, you think there's going to be like some crazy like blood spatter in this movie? And boy was there. And I won't say who, but from my character, I did not think it would happen to, because he's like, you know, and it was just like way over the top, but it worked. And it just started spewing blood.
You know what? The funniest thing, and why I laughed so hard when I know what you're talking about.
What? I get it from the second guy. Remember the second guy that happens to? He's on the floor. Okay, well, spoiler. It's a side view. So I'm like, okay, there's a vacuum spewing blood out of the side of his mouth. But how did they do it for the other guy? Because it was like was he really carrying that much? Is there CGI or what? Did they edit that later?
I bet it was a common. I bet he had a little bit in his mouth
because it was
so
like
you could get the right color. And
it was right at you.
Yeah,
it was right at the camera. I was like, how did they hide that? It must have been I know, like, Quentin Tarantino has said that he's not really into CGI, but he's like, but I'm not against it, because how can I make Kill Bill without editing out wires and things like that, So it could have been just like out
It's
of his
just
mouth.
a simple effect, yeah. So, but I liked how, like, speaking of that scene, the book that they give you has some foreshadowing on story
I know.
elements.
I didn't even look at it until the intermission. There's an intermission in this film,
Yeah.
folks. It's just like an old-timey Western. I saw that, and I was like, oh, when's that going to happen?
Yeah,
Or is this just a metaphor of a picture?
Exactly.
And then as soon as we come back, it tells me. I'm like, oh, okay.
This is there's a picture in the back of the book, and it has like this tea kettle or this coffee kettle, and it's got blood on it. And the other thing, I don't know if you notice in this, is that one of the characters that is his impending doom is opposite
Do you
the
know
page.
who that guy is? I just realized this.
Who is he?
He is the son in Kill Bill of Michael Parks, and he might be his real son in real life. I don't know.
Really?
Remember, they're like doing the crime scene of the blood spattered bride. And he's like son number one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
son number one. And
Really?
he's a recurring character in that double. You've seen the double feature film, right?
Yeah. The Grindhouse?
Grindhouse. He was in Death Proof, and they both walk through, and he's like, I bet he's just like murdering people and getting away with it. And he's like, no, that can't be that, Pa. That's him. That's OB.
That's funny.
I think I was reading there's like only one or two people in that whole film that has not worked a lot with Quentin Tarantino. So
Which
Zoe
is like-
Bell
it was-
is a stunt woman, and she's that New Zealand chick from
Yeah.
Death Proof and in that movie, and she seems to be. And boy, is it good to be friends with Quentin Tarantino, because you go from stunt woman to minor part lady real quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a common thing is in Hollywood in general. If you're a stunt person and you have like charisma, and the director sees that, it's a matter of time.
It's easier to get that person if it's
Yeah.
not like an important actor. Just use the stunt guy.
But it's totally, you're already paying him.
Yeah.
Like, it's paying him a little bit more. But it's a matter of time because, like, think about if you're anything on a film set. That's why people say if you want to work in Hollywood, go work in Hollywood. You can get a job and be on a film set if you want to. And if you have charisma, it's a matter of time before you get a role in something. Because if you have a pretty face, which she did, and you have charisma, boom.
That was the only part I kind of didn't get. Out of everything in it, I was like, why is there a New Zealand chick there? And then I was like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, like it made like
and she even says it. He's like, is that English? And he's like, nah, New Zealand. And I was like, oh, okay. What are we in, Wyoming or something?
I don't know. Honestly, that sounds kind of far fetched. Like, how the fuck?
I was like, I get
at the
America's a
time
melting
period-
pot, but even back then, just
Yeah. New Zealand is far away. That's the other side of the. Most people wouldn't even know what New Zealand was. They probably thought it was a made-up name. I bet.
there be
Like,
dragons. That's it.
yeah, there's dragons over there. Dragging my balls.
What was your favorite part of this film? Either
Okay.
in section or the craft of how it was made.
One thing I did like is the ode to the past roadshow films that were filmed with literally the same lenses.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Because the last time it was used was in 1966, it said, in the book.
But also, there are shots. The one that comes to mind, but I'm gonna watch it again and be real thoughtful and make notes. But there are shots in the movie that were replicated shots from those old films. Like Quentin Tarantino thought about
That's
it.
all it
One
is.
of
I
them
mean, that's
was-
what Kill Bill is. I mean,
Yeah.
why do you think she's fighting an Asian in Asia's snowland? And then that's the whole story, is that he was a film clerk back when there was movie stores, folks.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you could walk around and not have to, worry about somebody being angry behind you in line. And he just became so inspired. And that's all he does now, is he's like, you know what? They didn't know about this film. I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
That's what a great artist does.
But the lenses that they used for this movie were the same set of 70mm Panavision lenses that they used for Ben-Hur.
I heard
And
that, yeah.
there's one of the shots, or a couple of the shots of the horse and buggy coming up. They replicated to
Oh,
the
the
T
chariot?
The
Was that what
chariot
it was?
chase. Yeah,
Okay.
they replicated the close up of the horses' noses and the breathing. That shot is like straight from Ben-Hur, and it was shot with the same lens, like 60 years later or something crazy.
So
like
they
that.
shot this in like a real snowy place.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, the rest of the movie is a soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
It's inside a cabin or whatever the fuck. But they also cooled that soundstage to 30 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So the actors are really cold and they're really like breathing heavy cold air. I
Yep.
thought that was pretty awesome. My favorite part is the fact that Mr. Orange gets shot in the stomach again. Just lying on the floor. And he's the... Can I spoil it? He's the mole.
He was the mole.
Isn't he? Kinda?
See, at a certain point, because this is no spoiler because people have already kind of said this, is that it's basically the Western version of
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, and at a certain point, no one trusts, really the whole time, no one trusts anybody, and it's like who is really there to...
The only thing is in Reservoir
Help the
Dogs,
girl.
we see the scene where we're like, oh, Mr. Orange is a cop.
Yeah.
We didn't see that till the end of, there's more to it than that. But till the end, that the reveal instead of the beginning. So we're all like feeling for this one guy trying to make it out of this crazy situation. This one, we had no freaking clue. They could all have been in on it for all we knew.
I think that shows growth in terms of the storytelling of Quentin Tarantino. He's like, I know that really worked, and then you took the chapters element from Pulp Fiction. I mean, he does that in a couple other things.
That's Quentin
doesn't he?
Tarantino, man. That's what I want to see in a Quentin Tarantino movie. Is that, and that I don't want to see it from anybody else. Is the more important part. Like,
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you. Find something else. That's Quentin's. Leave it alone.
Yeah. But I love that how you literally were trying to figure out who was helping the girl, and like what the fuck is going on?
Until the second part, I was like, I don't think any of them are. I think they're all just gonna kill each other and find out at the end that nobody had anything to do with it.
Yeah, it seemed like
I heard she's getting nominated for Best Actress. Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's had such a weird career. She's from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah,
she started off her career great, and she's a very wealthy, very successful actress, but she has turned down some of the biggest parts in movie history. Like, if you go on her IMDb page, it's like, how the hell did you pass up all these? And there's like 24 like well-known parts. I don't have time to get into it right now, but you're just like, what the... Who in their right mind would turn... And then still end up fine.
Yeah.
It's weird. But yeah, she had like... When she's like, tell the devil Daisy sent ya. I was like, that's such a good line right there.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, man, he always has such a... He has like a kindness behind a sternness. That's like the best way I can describe it. That I've never seen anybody else have. And he's always pushing for something with kind of like a backhanded comment, it seems. Him playing a bounty hunter, he plays like the best role. Snake Plissken, bounty hunter, freaking what was his name? The Hangman.
He was born to be in westerns. He just has the look.
Wasn't he like? Didn't he start off on a show that was kind of like Little House on the Prairie? Like,
Yeah,
he started
I
off
think
on
so.
like a western kind of, right?
He
He was supposed to be Han Solo.
What?
Have you ever seen that? There's test screenings.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And he's definitely not a good Han Solo. It was early in his career, you know, but I was like, man, because he was such a pretty face at the time. And like, it shows like him like, I think we should go to that planet over there. And Harrison Ford's like, why don't we go over there, Chewie? And they went with that one.
Yeah.
You know?
That's funny. Man, I forget
He's been
what
in
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of like, if not western-y kind of, what's that one with the horse where they're like, you ever seen that one with Dakota Fanning as his daughter, and they get a racehorse and they lose like half their ranch land?
No.
I can't remember the fuck that one's called. Dreamer or something. maybe. I don't know. He's a Bone Tomahawk again.
Yeah.
Tombstone. And they don't feel the same. Is the thing.
Yeah.
That's how I know he's a good actor.
That's crazy. But, you know, back to the whole, like, logistics of they were shooting on a soundstage and they made it cold. Like, I feel like that was, even though that's like, oh, yay, you know, you're making it more realistic, I feel like it was a necessity because they have all these characters bundled up in, like, fucking furs. Mm-hmm. So I think that it would make it
That
hard
one guy
to do
goes
it.
out in the cold. He's like, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I ain't going out in the cold. I hate you. They have to go to the outhouse. Fuck that. I'm peeing inside.
Yeah.
I'll find a jar. I ain't going out there.
But I think, you know, I still think, I'd have to watch it again. But they showed the hand of the culprit that did the
the poisoning of the teapot?
Poisoning. But at the same time, then they showed that the girl, what's her name?
Daisy.
Daisy, yeah. They showed her, like, witnessing
Damagoo.
But I still don't think that they were honest with who poisoned the pot.
It just shows a black glove. Could have been anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I don't know.
Who's your favorite of the Hateful Eight?
Um,
Bruce Dern is so awesome. Came out of nowhere, just started doing movies again.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Nebraska, and then he was the guy that owned Django and had him beaten.
Yep.
He's like, you got sand.
I think Samuel Jackson's my favorite.
Man, was that scene crazy or what? He pretty much says that he took one of their characters' sons and forced him out into the cold naked. And made him, like, give him a blowjob. Mm-hmm. I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan, so I was like, oh, he reached a new level.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But my date was like, what the hell is going on here? Getting blowjobs in the snow? Snow jobs? Is that where we're at right now? He's like, you suck my black dingus. Everybody in the theater cheered. I never thought in my life I would see 100 people clapping at forced fellatio in my life. You could have told me that 10 years ago. I'd be like, you're fucking nuts. I'll never see that.
Yeah. And that on that note, the timing. Okay, because I knew there was going to be an intermission, and I was wondering how they were going to do that.
They were going to do that.
Yeah, they talked about it. Like I said, they talked the.
Is it in the book?
Like, well, yeah, they say about it.
I was
in the
choosing
book,
to save it for later.
They also, in every piece of advertising about the road show, they said it's going to have an intermission. It's going to have the overture in the beginning with the score and.
See, I chose not to. I've been doing this a lot lately. I didn't want to see anything about Star Wars after the first trailer. I saw one trailer and he's like, I'm taking her to hang. Anybody got a problem with that? And it's like, boom, the Mexican, boom, the general, boom, the major black guy. And then that's like the only trailer I saw. And it's like, also in 70 millimeter. And that's all I knew. Yeah. I was like, I'll just go watch it just to see what it would look like as an old-timey Western.
Yeah. Well, the thing, though, is that I've seen movies with intermissions before done terribly, where it just kind of comes at a random point and it bothers you.
One did that. I'm trying to think. There wasn't maybe one like last year that did that too.
There was a movie with an intermission?
Did Inglourious Bastards have an intermission?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know that that they've done it in comedies as a joke.
Yeah.
Lately, or not lately, but in the last.
Dude,
15
people
years.
just clapped. He puts the cover of the piano down and it goes into intermission.
That's what.
And everybody cheered. It was like a baseball game. I was like, yes!
I was about ready.
I found the right theater for this film.
I was about ready to say that. Is that he literally wrote this movie around the idea of having an intermission. And if you remember, when it comes back from intermission, it's Quentin Tarantino voiceover.
He's a narrator, and it plans. Yeah. He's like, we've been out for about 15 minutes now, and it was like a 12-minute intermission for us. We're like, what? This is in the film?
Yeah, so we missed something.
I didn't think it. At first, I was like, this isn't the movie, is it? And I was like, this is the movie. What the heck?
That was great. But the intermission was interesting, and I don't know if this happened in your show, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Is that for the first time ever in my life, we went to an intermission, and it was like everyone in the theater started to talk to each other about the movie, which they said was going to happen because when you have an intermission, people, it becomes an experience that people talk, and usually when you're leaving a movie, you maybe have one little sentence like in passing with another viewer, like, oh, that was shitty or great or whatever. But this is like everyone, because the movie is all based on the idea that like somebody is out to get somebody. Like there's someone's bad in this room. Everyone's making guesses and bets and freaking dude. This theater was loud. Like everyone was talking about the movie.
Mine was quiet. They all chose to talk amongst each other. I chose to go pee because I had to go. But
it was long enough that I went to the bathroom and I hung out in the theater and I went out again and to the arcade. It was crazy.
Mine was stupid because they didn't have anything ready at the concessions and I wanted a drink. They're like, everything is down. So I was like, I went in the first half of the film and dry with no food, nothing to comfort me for the film. And then I went and I waited and it took me 11 of the 12 minutes to get a drink. I was like, fuck my life. Come on. But people did like convert. Oh, look at this book. Oh, isn't this amazing? And did you get the Walter Goggins too? That guy's awesome. The hangman and the sheriff and the major.
I loved that part. And this is okay.
There's a long shot in that film too. When you come back, or it was in the beginning after the narration. You come back and Kurt Russell's there, and they're going to make coffee, and she's just playing a song for full. And other people, there's a knock on the door. They're banging the door because the thing's broken again. It's like 4 minutes of just all this stuff, pure acting. And if she screwed up that one thing, or somebody else did, and she fucks up her song, I wonder how many times it took them, because it was with film, it wasn't digital, so it's not as easy.
Well, that's the thing. What I was going to say is I'm pretty sure it was 3 minutes, because a reel of film is 3 minutes.
There you go.
As far as I know. I could be wrong. But, like 1,000 feet is a reel of film, and it's 3 minutes. 24 frames per second. And frames about an inch.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah.
Huh.
But that's just crazy. I wish, I would love to, someday shoot something in 70 millimeter or just be there to see it because it's loud.
That's awesome. Everybody was like, Christopher Nolan is the hottest thing on the scene. They're giving him the red cameras and he broke one and they said, fuck it, give him another one for Dark Knight. And everybody's now is like, oh look, Quentin Tarantino's using the 70 millimeters again. Isn't that genius?
Yeah.
I choose the latter any day, but that's just me.
I don't know.
Was your Tarantino thirst quenched?
I honestly think it, in my opinion, it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
That's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's my favorite. See, that one's hard for me to pick. I think Jackie Brown is probably my least favorite. It's good, but it didn't have as much of an impact on me as the rest. Man, I mean, I think that, again, that's my favorite film of the year, though. That was the best story. It was just, it was like reading a book almost. And you're just like, look at all this. Look at this, because that's what the chapters thing kind of does to you. Michael Madsen, thank God you have Quentin Tarantino for a friend, because apparently you can't find work anywhere else.
The chapters thing is great, too, because the conversation that we had in the car on the way from the movie going home was great because it was so fresh in our minds, but the partitioning of it allowed us to easily discuss parts of the movie without getting kind of lost. We're like, oh, you remember in chapter 6 there was this and that.
Yeah.
Like it's easy. It was easy to
I love
bring
Tim
it up.
Roth because not only does he have an English accent, but he has two of them, two different accents in that film. He played the character that he's like playing, and then the character that he really has is like his real voice, and they're both different. And I've heard that Tim Roth, when he did Reservoir Dogs, he's like, I can't audition. I'm not a good auditioner. You're just not gonna pick me if I audition. So why bother auditioning? So I guess like they got drunk and he auditioned for Reservoir Dogs and he got it. But I'm willing to bet that they're like, look, we want Tim Roth. He can do it. Leave him alone. Let him do what he wants to do. And he like knocked it out of the park. What was his name again? Oswaldo Mowbray.
Yeah. That's why they call it Minnie's haberdashery.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
He's always
he
so
does
weird.
it so perfectly. And then, not only that, but you find out that he's playing a character. He's not even...
One of my favorite characters...
What a great film.
One of my favorite characters' accent. Not really my favoriteest character in this, but I love the Mexican for how he sounded.
That sounds awful like you're calling me a liar.
Sounds like you're calling me a liar. Yeah, he reminded me of that stupid floating blue character from Star Wars Episode 1, kind of like that.
Waldo or something? Wado.
Wado. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but Mexican. And then just the shit that he says is funny.
He's in that show, The Bridge. His name is Damian Bashir. Oh, he was in Machete.
Really?
Machete Kills. Maybe that's why. Maybe Robert Rodriguez was like, get this guy for a Hateful Eight. He's good.
He's great. He's hilarious. Just the look of that character and everything.
All right.
Oh my God.
Sounds like we got our Tarantino fix.
Yes.
Till next year, probably. He makes one about every year, right?
No. Actually,
Less?
I think because he's only on like his 8th film. He's pretty.
But lately, maybe you're right.
Well.
Maybe it's every other year.
What is it?
Inglourious Basterds was like 2 years ago, I think.
Django was 2012.
Django's 2012.
Inglourious Basterds was 2009.
Oh, wow.
Death Proof was 2007.
So every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while.
Which is good. It's because... And I remember...
I wonder if he'll stop at 10. You think he'll stop at even 10? Or a dozen?
Maybe. But here's the interesting thing that people... Like, I feel like people don't take a step back and look at certain people's careers and understand why they only make so many things. It's totally a quality over quantity thing. And the vlogger that I watch on YouTube, Casey Neistat, he brought it up. He said, like, I make content every day because I'm forcing myself to. But people like Quentin Tarantino and who's the guy that made Space 2001: A Space? Stanley Kubrick, yeah. They've only made like 8-9 films. But think about every film they've made. They make a movie. It comes out, it's a classic. It doesn't matter what you say about it, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to be a movie that is replayed and talked about for ages, endlessly.
And you could tell that his fan club now it's well deserved, but it's there because I read something where it broke the record for most money made on a release of less than 1,000 theaters or something, and it made its money back. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, because they normally release in 3,000 theaters, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that was before it officially even came out. Was the Roadshow? I think came out before the real movie came out. Man, I feel bad for anybody that didn't watch it that way because it was definitely an experience.
Oh yeah, I will frame this someday. Hopefully, this little booklet in my ticket.
There you go.
That'll be
cool. Are you ready for the quiz? Are you gonna pull out sound effects or no?
Yeah, I can bust out the sound effects. Let's do the sound effects.
Today's quiz is Tarantino-like.
So where did you get these questions? You have 5 questions.
They're inspired from other quizzes, but they're really my own questions. So they're not multiple choice either. So take your time.
All right. So the quiz starts now.
In Reservoir Dogs, everybody is given a code name via color.
Yeah.
Get it? What color was Harvey Keitel and Reservoir Dogs.
And Harvey Keitel was the is he the crazy motherfucker that cuts the guy's ear off?
No.
No?
That's
I'm
Michael Madsen.
I'm off to a bad start. I can't even imagine who it is. Oh, he was Mr. Pink.
No.
No?
Wrong.
God
That's
damn it.
Steve Buscemi.
God damn it.
Harvey Keitel was Mr. White.
God damn it.
He's like the main guy.
I know.
What color was Quentin Tarantino?
Isn't he like Mr. Brown? Or
Yeah, he was.
He's Mr. Brown.
It's this close to Mr. Shit. All right.
Wait. I gotta go.
Yeah. I
Incorrect. Okay.
Name 2 Robert Rodriguez films that Quentin Tarantino acted in.
Okay. He was in. He was in. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
And then. I want to say, I don't think he was in. Death Proof or what is that other one? What is it called? I have to say it. What is it? What is the answer to this question? God damn it! I'm becoming Yoda now. I can't remember. I don't know.
Man, there's 2 other movies. Are you sure? Think
about
about Robert.
3.
There's at least 3 off the top of my head.
Mm.
Think about Robert Rodriguez. Think of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I'm not a big Robert Rodriguez fan.
Really? He's a rebel without a crew.
A Rebel Without a Crew.
That's his book, anyway.
Really? Man, yeah, I'm not a big fan of his.
No?
I just never really liked his
We
style.
would have accepted Planet Terror
God damn it.
or Desperado.
He was in Desperado?
He's the guy that he tells the pee joke about. He's like, remember, I got the bartender pissed all over his face, and they shot him in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that movie since I was like 10.
You're down.
I know.
All right, here we go.
Incorrect.
When Jules in Pulp Fiction decides to eat the other guy's burger, what was the name of the burger joint that he eats?
Big Kahuna Burger?
Yeah.
That is a tasty burger. Okay.
What is one Quentin Tarantino film that Quentin Tarantino wrote but did not direct?
It's called.
There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the one that comes to mind. Why am I terrible with names? What is it called? I know this. What is it called? Not the. Fuck. Need some thinking music.
There we go.
I can't remember.
Can't remember any? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Tony Scott directed one. Oliver Stone directed another one.
I know the Tony Scott one, and I watched it the other day. But I can't think of the name. I can picture the entire movie.
What about Oliver Stone? Is that a better hint?
Oliver Stone.
Stars Woody Harrelson?
Oh. He wrote... So, I did not know that, but now I know. He wrote... what is it called?
It's still don't
God
know.
damn it! Can't think of the name.
Or at least the
It's
story of. I think that counts.
The Natural Born Killers?
Yep. There you
Okay,
go.
so he
The other
wrote
one was
that.
True Romance.
True Romance. See, I just
actually,
watched that.
It was actually like one giant script he wrote, and they split it into 2 movies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, for the win.
Okay.
It's hard.
Ooh.
Name 5 Tarantino films Samuel L. Jackson is in.
Okay. Hateful Eight.
Okay.
Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Jackie Brown.
Okay.
Think of the other movies that are it's 3.
That's 3.
Dang. This is so hard. What else has he done?
He's only done 8 films.
I know. I can't even name them all.
He got only 5, and 2 of them he's in.
What else is there?
You don't even know the other films he's done?
He wasn't. Oh, okay. Django. So that's 4. Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the 5th one?
There's a total of 2 more.
But I only have to name 5.
You only have to name one of the next 2. Because you've done 4.
Fuck. I don't know.
Really?
He was in another one?
Yeah, he's in 2.
He was in 2 more.
Yeah.
What were they then?
Kill Bill Volume 2, which is really just Kill Bill.
He was in it? Where was he?
He's the black piano player that gets shot.
I don't remember that.
Rufus.
I don't remember that at all.
And he's in Inglourious Bastards. He's the narrator. He's like, Hugo Stiglitz, motherfucker.
Oh, that's like in fucking correct.
You
Man.
lose.
Inglourious Bastards was a tough one.
I thought that would have been one you would have got.
Yeah. I'm not on my A game today because I'm
No.
sick. But
I'm telling you, you should just quiz me.
but that would be lame. We'd give you
Why?
quizzes where you're always right.
If you stumped the
Yeah,
Schwab,
waste
that
it.
was a popular show.
Stump the Schwab?
Remember when they asked that one guy who knows everything about sports?
Yeah.
Sports questions. All right, folks. That about wraps it up for this episode. What are we talking about next week?
I don't know. What should we talk about?
Let's look it up real quick.
Movies.
Next week. Well, we can talk about The Revenant, which came out this week, actually. I will say Big Short was a great film.
Yeah.
Another long film. There was a lot of, they finished 2015 with a lot of like 2.5, 3 hour films.
Yeah.
They pretty much like tells the story of the housing market bubble, and it dumbs it down. It like to the point where it's like, here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub to explain this to you, and it does it like 5 times during the movie, like things like that. Like, here's Selena Gomez to give you an example, and just Adam McKay, he's known for his comedies, makes this I would call it a drama. I mean, it had some funny parts. I would not call it a comedy, but smart, very smart film.
Huh.
And I think if we had done top 10, that one would have made my top 10.
Well, The Revenant comes out on the 8th.
I thought it came out on the 1st.
Did it?
Isn't that how... Yeah, you're right. It comes out on the 8th.
Yeah, so
Well,
we can talk about that next week.
We can talk about The Revenant then.
I think that would be a good one to talk about. I really liked it. So I got one of the lucky people to see a
Early
pre-screening.
showing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could really, it would be good, actually a good episode to follow up this one because we're talking about blood spatter in this one, some crazy bloodshed in The Revenant.
No
So,
kidding. And then we got 13 Hours, the new Michael Bay film, the next week.
Really? What is it?
I think that out of that list, that looks better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does look. That's next week too.
That's the week after.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know. That January 22nd looks like a pretty shitty fucking lineup right there.
What's that?
We got the Fifth Wave, that Independence Day ripoff.
Oh my god.
We got The Boy, the Annabelle ripoff.
Oh no.
We got Dirty Grandpa, the
That actually looks really fucking
Bad
funny.
Grandpa ripoff.
Bad Grandpa was creepy.
And Exposed.
But Dirty Grandpa looks like a
That
funny
has Keanu
fucking
Reeves
movie.
in it. I don't know. That
Exposed?
One, I'm
heard
sure
of
we'll
it.
see some previews closer to. I'm thinking Dirty Grandpa is my pick of the litter.
Yeah, I think we should go with that.
We don't really have any like great film. I'm seeing February. We got the Coen Brothers, Hail Caesar,
Looks good to me.
and then Deadpool.
Nice.
That I can't wait for. That's a short list.
All right.
Good lineup. Good pod. Good year. Happy tidings. Good luck on your resolutions. So far, I'm one day clean on mine.
Doing good?
Yeah, doing good. I'm 100% so far.
You know what's funny is I started working out like 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Lost some weight.
Did
and,
ya?
Yeah, I lost like 10 pounds. And like New Year's, wore a tuxedo, looked awesome. And I could actually wear a bow tie. My neck is going down a
Really?
size. I was like, I feel comfy with a bow tie on. And then sure enough, like, you know, between Christmas and New Year's,
Came all back.
I didn't gain any weight back, luckily, but I stopped working out. I need to like start like Monday.
Hurry up.
I'm definitely not starting tomorrow, but Monday, I'm getting at it.
Next week.
So you fuckers out there should do the same. Get in shape. Follow through with your shit.
Watch Hateful Eight.
Watch Hateful Eight. Watch movies only after you've like achieved something in your own life.
As a treat.
Yeah.
Okay. That wraps it up.
So,
When the hangman catches you, you don't catch a bullet. When the hangman catches you, you hang.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flick of the Week. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Facebook, as well as Pinterest. And pretty much any provider of podcasts, I guess. I mean, we're everywhere. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you.